So what I've come to realize is that sustainability is going to affect us all very soon, and it's something I was lucky enough to sort of learn about 10 years ago and really get on board with and be able to do, I hope, some level of impact on both the awareness side and the policy side. So there's sort of two approaches. You want everyone to know about it, why it's important, how they can make sustainable choices in their seafood, and that's the easiest way to do that is basically to get the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch app and download on your phone. Anytime you're eating seafood, you just punch in whatever it is, the species, and then hopefully your fishmonger, your server will be able to answer any questions you have about method of capture, geographical location of the animal, whatever. So trends that I'm seeing is that sustainability is coming, sort of front and center. It shouldn't be something that we have to specialize in. It should just be a way we're doing business. It's like farm to table and organic. We shouldn't have to make big deals about it. Hopefully it'll just be intrinsic in the way that people are making choices and favoring the environment and the future as opposed to just a few cents on the bottom line. So this is an amazing audience because there are so many influencers here at Food Loves Tech. We're able to sort of get to the heart of many of these startups and many of these people who are going to be the next trend in creating opportunities, really, I think is what it comes down to, because nothing really works unless there's a business model around it. We can say that this is great or that's great or be on a panel or a symposium and all agree with among ourselves, but unless it gets out to the public at large, and usually that's through some form of a business model, it's less and less relevant. So that's why this is great, because I believe that there's a synergy between future business and the important trends that are happening. Sure. So we're lucky enough today to talk about oysters, which is a passion of mine. It's something we do a lot of at Grand Banks, Pilot, and Island Oyster here in New York City. And oysters are probably the most sustainable thing you can eat, because basically every oyster they plant is going to filter 8 gallons of water a day and create habitat within this environment. So oysters are great, farm raised. We have access to some wild oysters on the North Shore of Long Island, and I even get to raise some oysters myself in Sag Harbor. So it's important for us to be not only chefs and creators, but stewards. And I consider myself a steward of this environment that is, and in that regard, we have a responsibility. And I hope that everyone else shares that. I get my inspiration at places like this where I can, see new ideas and see people who are, blazing new paths and taking some risks and really getting out there. I'm often most inspired by nature. That sounds kind of corny, but if I get a chance to be in the ocean or in the bays with the oysters, and I'll see almost just like something will pop up that I didn't expect. A piece of seaweed, will be attached to an oyster, and I'm going to eat that seaweed and say, this is something that we should be eating more of. Maybe the, marine vegetation, for example, is, I think the next big trend. I think that's where you should be, focusing a lot of our efforts as chefs and what I would call sort of Western traditions around algae, both micro and macro, so seaweed, essentially.